Greg is going to have a good a little thing here about what makes somebody's the strength. And just an example of a strength is about Lawrence Taylor on his strengths and about his a long time ago with him being a team.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind when you're dealing with someone's strengths, and I'm going to be not too long with him for time purposes, but Lawrence Taylor was an individual who actually translated the game of American football for those people who live outside the country who view this on the various different medias. Lawrence Taylor was an individual who there's a position in American football called the linebacker. He revolutionized what the linebacker does. To this very day, you have people who have made millions upon millions of dollars who can thank this man as the forerunner, because there were linebackers before Lawrence Taylor. There were people who played the game before he joined football over time. But one of the things that his drive was just so enormous was that, and that extraordinary thing, as Cheryl alluded to, of not being average, he pushed himself. He pushed himself.
When
People,
he failed,
he,
when he didn't pat,
I
when he
mean,
didn't
even
win a game.
put it like this: even though he won 2 Super Bowls, there was a time that he was suspended for a league for a year because of drugs. And during that time, he had to reassess himself, and he had to grow, and he had to see the pitfalls and the challenges and the things that he was doing, even though some of those things he was still doing greatly, but he understood there was a cost behind it. So after that suspension and he came back, you're talking about one of the very few people. I think he may still only be the only defensive player. No, there's I think one other to be MVP of the league. That's how dominant this man was. He changed the game. But his strength lied was that he had an indomitable drive. And he took the failures of his life, of his upbringing and things of that nature, and he turned that thing around, took it to college in North Carolina, became a Hall of Famer. And the same way that he has that indomitable drive, we all have an indomitable drive. Some of us suppress it, and that's why we stay average. Some of us let it loose, but if you let it loose too crazy, like as Lawrence, from the example of Lawrence Taylor, you can do it to the point where now you over abuse the talent, because now you let the whole Pandora's box out. But there is an area, there is a vibration, there is a way that you can navigate. Whereas you do not need to be average, and you do not have to take it to a level where you're going overboard. But there's a way that you can just situate yourself and allow that passion, allow that dream, allow that confidence to mix in with your goals, and you allow yourself to take it to the next step.
So what happens with Lawrence Taylor? What he did was when he lost the game, he went right back and to say, how can I strategize to get to the point, get to that quarterback? How can I strategize to
Mm.
do that? How to make my game better? So what the example is of finding your strength is how he operated in his strength was to improve on his already strength of being a great linebacker. So he went back and said, okay, I'm not getting to the quarterback. My job is to get to the quarterback. How do I get to that quarterback? How do I get to that quarterback? He kept going and he started going over and over different strategies to go back and say, how do I get to that quarterback? And that's the thing that you got to strive to. Because the difference is if I was to go on the field right now, I'll be working in my weakness because I am no Lawrence Taylor. I am not that. That is not my thing.
Mm-mm-mm.
And no practice in the world is going to make me good at football. That is not. I mean, I will. It would be just crazy for me to go and go on there and start practicing 4 or 5 times out of the week to be a football player. It's just ridiculous for me to do that. So why do that? The strength that he knew where he was supposed to be in life. His purpose was to be a football player. And he knew in order for him to be one of the greatest football players, is that he had to make sure that he did what he needed to do in order to get where he needed to be in life. And that was practice your strengths, do what you need to do to move yourself into finding your purpose in life.
Well, that was parts 3 and 4 of the 10 ways to define what success is to you. And right now, Cheryl's going to give her motivational moment of the